Hello. Hello, good afternoon. So, I baked this part. I didn't touch the shape. I got a crack in here. So first thing before we start putting the clothes is fixing this crack. It's common to have cracks when you use like a big chunk of clay like I did. So it's kind of expected. And to fix this, we can use liquid clay, or you can just open up a little bit the space and put some epoxy clay. It's actually the best way to fix, but it takes some time to dry out, and I wanted to show you guys, so I'm just using the liquid clay. Hi. So you get liquid clay, so the clay is gonna get all the way inside the liquid clay. My brush has some paint on it, so it's getting colorful, but it doesn't matter because this is just underneath the clothes. You can also make a mix of clay with liquid clay that it becomes a little bit more creamy and put it in there. Thank you. Now I'm gonna get just regular clay. I'm using light beige because his outfit is going to be light leather. So, hello. And I'm going to, with my tool, make sure that I put inside the crack, I fill up with clay the best I can. Hi, Soy. Soy Mar. Look. So now I have, I think it's enough in there. If it's not, then I'll just do it with epoxy clay after. But I think it will be okay. Hi, Diana. There we go. Okay, so for the bust, I will start with the back so I can decide on the shape of the back. And it's because you're already far ahead with your sitting bull. Hi, Pam. And I'm going to start placing some clay on the back here just to give my bust shape. And I kind of want it to be not perfect. I want to have the feeling that is unfinished, I think. That's just my first idea. I might change my mind. I never know. Get him out of here. Português é no outro canal. I think I want this to be a little bit thicker, this pole. I don't know if I'm going to have it that tall. I might. Or if I'm going to do a little bit shorter. Grazie. Hi, Elder. Let's see. I don't know. I kind of like this tall, and the feather. It looks nice. It doesn't have to be that tall, but I kind of like it. I might leave it. I don't even know if I'm gonna have enough clay here. So right now I'm just figuring out the shape of the bottom of the bust because I'm not sure what I want to do here. I have some ideas, but I have to decide as I do to see if I like, because I don't like plan a lot of things and then as I go, I won't like it and I will change it anyway. So I'm going to like, poke with my fingers like that because I kind of want to have some finger shape showing. Maybe I'll do it with the tool as well. When I figured out, well, I think we never really think that we are that much talented. So we're always, at least I am always trying to get better. I find out that I like the art since very young, but that doesn't mean that I find out I'm talented. I don't know if artists all have this absolute sure that they are very talented. I think, I don't know. I'm not that type of artist. Okay, I think that's it for the back for now. I might go larger here, not sure. So I'll leave it like that until I decide. And now I'm going to go for the front. And because I don't want anything to be like super perfect and realistic from here to here, like I done that in the face, now I kind of want more of a rustical style. So I'm not going to use the machine. I'm gonna open the clay in my hand so I have the like uneven. I don't have it all like nice and, I know, perfectly smooth. And I'm gonna place some in here. I made the chest in, so now I can put thicker clay to give more volume to it, so it works nice and I don't need to work with a very thin clay. Hello, hello Arthur. Ou Arthur. So this is kind of what I want the shirt to be, finishing unfinished here. And then I might have to bake this and then complete the back after it's baked, so I don't damage when I get it done. I think this is kind of what I want to be unfinished here. I'm gonna do the other half. Hello, Turkey. Yes, sim, sou do Brasil. Eu sou brasileira. I am Brazilian. I'm answering the question in Portuguese there. Now, before I put the other half, I always like to kind of smooth out this, remove this different level so it doesn't mark the next part of the clay that I'm going to put here. I'm from Brazil, but I live in Canada. Tem o canal em português, gente. Tem outro canal. Pode procurar aí que tem outro canal em português. Grazie. Io non parlo italiano. So I'm just really enjoying here. I'm not concerned on how this shape is going to end, I like to turn out at the end, because I kind of want it to be all like that, like not perfect. So, and this I'm copying like his shirt. He has like a, it's not really a button shirt, it's a type of little balls that natives, I don't know, some, I'm not really sure what that is, but there's like little balls serving as buttons, but it doesn't have the button shape like the average button shape here. I don't want to be all nicely there. I want to kind of like finishing like a V. Kind of like that, I think. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure. But this is the time that we have fun. It's just figuring out. Ai, que bom. I don't want this to be too tall, because I kind of gave the right height with the shoulder already, so I'm trying to get the clay very thin here to don't get his shoulders too big. So you see this, I have to bake this first before I complete with clay, because if I try to put clay here, it's just gonna mess up the front. So I will leave it like that and bake it, and then I'll put the shape on the back. I can try to go very slow completing there, but I don't know if it's worth. I think it's better just bake. You guys have any question? Hi, Denmark. You guys can always ask me questions about the sculpture, about the process as well. All these classes are available here on the channel from the number 1 if you guys want to make your own sitting bull. I use a 5.5 cranium skull from my store, which is Etsy. And you just go on Etsy and search for Juliana Lupine, and you'll find my store there. And I'm using PV clay, which is a brand of polymer clay that I like. And all the classes are available here on the channel. And if you want to join my Patreon, I have plenty of other classes there as well. And it's only $10 per month. And you get to watch all my previous classes. That there's a lot of classes there. And if you just want to support my work, you can also sign this channel as a special fan. Yeah, I really am not sure how I'm going to do this finishing here. I think I will maybe leave some. I don't want to be perfectly finished. Hi. Oi, Marcelo. There's a bubble. Air bubbles will crack. So if you leave an air bubble, it will crack your clay. But it's okay, it's always fixable. So not a big concern. I kind of like that it's falling like that. I still have to press the texture, so it's still going to change a bit here. I also have to be careful because I think I'm going to make a mold of this Sitting Bull so I can sell copies of it. And I'm planning to make other busts for selling. So when we do the sculpture, like the outfit, the details, you also have to think about making a mold. What's gonna be the best? Like you can't really have negative, indentations where the silicone is gonna get stuck. So it's a little bit, when you're planning to do copies, there's a little bit of some limitations with the shapes. You can't really just go crazy and do what you want, like you can do when it's one of a kind. There's a hole here that doesn't exist. I'm just going to fill up. I never really sold copies of my work, so maybe that's gonna be a new phase. Maybe, not promising. Okay, kind of like this unfinished style here. Not sure if I like the shirt, but it's gonna have, let me get just to have an idea, get another color of clay. Thank you, Peru. Gracias, Peru. Obrigada, Letícia. Well, pretty much it's been the only, it's the one that I use the most, but it's not the only one. Like, I mean, if you go back in this channel, there's a full frozen castle that I made for my niece out of hot glue. So, I'm just gonna put this clay here just to have an idea of what's gonna look like with the braids. So I have a better idea if that's what I want for the shirt. And I think I like it. I think I like this way. You guys like it? You guys can also give me opinions, and I don't mind. I like it. Just gonna put it in here to have an idea. Yeah, that's gonna look good. Kind of look ghosty, like a little ghost. Okay, I'll take a little bit of this out here, let more cleaned up here. Okay, and now I have my leather texture. This texture was done on my native class. I showed the step-by-step how to do it. It's really simple. It's just a cotton fabric with liquid clay, a few layers of liquid clay both sides. and I put the heat gun on it so it gives those little tiny bubbles because of the heat gun. So it really looks like leather, and that's what I used for making the fringes to my native, and that's also what I used to make the texture of her clothes, and then I saved it because it worked so well. And I even used to make like skin texture. Why not, right? It's gonna get hairy, but that's okay. Every time I press texture, it gets hairy because I have a dog, and there's hair everywhere in my house, and I have kids, so. Or are you laughing? And here, when it's when it's not, there's nowhere to press, you just hold your texture and pinch with it so it gets on the clay pretty well. Just hold it the other side like that and press it. If you don't want to make this texture, it's fine. You can just use like sponges, whatever you think that it's going to look like leather. And if you do have some leather, you can just use leather. I don't because I'm vegan, so I don't really have leather. If I wasn't in class, I probably would bake this phase so I don't lose the texture before I start adding details on the shirt. But because I'm in class and it's an hour class and we only have 22 minutes gone, so I still have quite a bit to go, I have to keep on going. And I will probably mess up the texture, which is okay. I'll just do it again once I have the details. I'll just redo it. Okay, add some texture to the back as well. I'm not gonna add texture to this part. Okay, that's good enough because I know I will have to add more, so I'll just leave it this way. Okay, now I'm going to do this part like there's it's like a button shirt that is not really a button, but kind of same feeling. So the shirt is divided here, and we have, no, the first one is right here. Well, let's do that first then. So I'm going to put around his neck I don't know the name of that part of the shirt. And then same thing, I'm just going with my fingers because I don't want to be all perfect on the machine, on the pasta machine. So I'm just pressing with my fingers. And just make sure that I have enough to go around. Collar. I always forget. And you know what? It's the same in Portuguese. But I forget in Portuguese too. I'm not a fashionist. Okay, so just with my fingers, so it's not all perfect. I kind of want it rustic. And now I'm going to put on my table. And just kind of like make sure that I don't have like too thick parts. So I'm just kind of squeeze them nicely. And I'm gonna cut as soon as I can get my my cutter. Cut one side. And then I kind of have to measure how thick I want this to be. Let me see how I can measure that. It's not very thick, just looking at, well, the best way, of course, is using this. So let's just do that. It's kind of like here. I don't want to be too thick, so a little bit more, let's say here. Back. And I'm just gonna mark some parts of it. It doesn't need to be perfect. Because this, we'll probably have to like redo the whole thing, you know, fix the whole thing as well as when it's on the next, especially if I want to make a mold, because I don't want to have the negatives. So this is just an easier way to do it. Oh my gosh, now it's in a horrible position for me to cut, but it's in a good position for the camera. Let's see if I can do this. And it's gonna cut the fringes. I'm all twisted here. Hopefully this will work. I'm not sure if it will. This clay is very, very soft, so it might not even work. And it's just gonna be a waste of time. But we gotta try. Because if it works, it's easier to cut the fringes on the table. I mean, it would be easier if I have a better position facing myself. But I think it's easier this way than to cut the whole thing on his neck. And my clay is so soft that this might get all stuck together. We never know, but we gotta try. Sculpting is always experimenting. I never consider that I know everything, you know, like, oh, I'm always experimenting, and even if I already know one way to do, I always like to experiment other ways, so it doesn't get boring, doesn't become a routine. And that it's absolutely different of what I've done for my other native fringes. I didn't even use clay for that one. I used that leather thing that I just showed you guys. Yeah, and I think it's gonna get all stuck. Oops, see, this clay is very bad. It's just cracking. Yeah, it didn't do anything, but at least it marked out, so it's good. All right, at least I have the marks, so it's not a complete waste. I'm going to put it in here. First one, right there. I'm gonna have to work on these guys one by one. If my clay wasn't so soft, I think it would work much better, but it is very soft, so it's fine. I had to mix a few different clays here because I run out of my good PV clay. So the mixing clay sometimes gets a very weird texture. All right. Now let's work on these fringes. This is, o canal em português é o outro, amor. Esse aqui é o canal em inglês. I'm gonna press this down. I might have gone too high here. Hi. And now we work on those fringes. We don't want them to be all stuck together. This is actually good for molding, that they are not all over the place. Kind of want to have some of them like, you know, going to the side like that. So maybe if I cut this in this direction, I can get some shorter ones. This clay is cracking a lot. So you guys saw me working on his face with a very, very good clay texture. And now you're seeing me, watching me making the shirt with a very bad texture. But, you know, I'm not gonna throw clay out, so that's what I do. I use the bad clays I use for shirts and things that are easier than the face. Sorry, I saw somebody said something, but I missed it. Oh, it's just high five. High five. Then we can just, you know, lift up some of them, bring it down the other ones, and then get some differences. Same thing here. If you think it did too thick, just split in two, and that works too. Just bring this in so it's not so thick in here. Have a better finishing, but we can also do this finishing with the brush after. And it looks good. Oh, I forgot to make the mark in this one. All right, so I'll keep doing the fringes after. I just want to show here the effect of the button that I want to do. So one of it is right here, and I'm gonna press it in so it looks like the fabric is inside. And then the next one is gonna be around here. So I'm gonna press this in here. And then what I want to do in between the two buttons is a little bit of a bump, if my clay allows me to. You know, separate the clay. Oh, I can't really do that if I'm gonna do resin mold. It's gonna be a negative. So see, there are some limitations. So we have to kind of pretend for the mold. But anyway, if you're not making a mold, this is what you do. You just bring it out. What I'm gonna do here is, because I'm gonna make a resin mold, I'm gonna cast this out. I'm just gonna put a little clay in there and make a pretending thing. And then the shirt, this one can be this side of the shirt. There you go. Just want to have a little effect that the button is actually pushing the shirt in here. And then we can go with the making a mark here a bit bigger of the button pressing, you know. And as I said, we're gonna lose the texture, but we can press it again after you've done all your shapes. Then you just press the texture again. And I'm gonna do this, keep on doing this here, and I have another fringes thing going on. Olá! O canal em português é outro, gente. Esse aqui é em inglês. Tem outro canal que eu só falo português. Just giving the buttons effect here. I can go bigger or smaller. Doesn't even need to go all the way down, because this, it could be, you know, this part could be just unfinished with the fingers. Yeah, I think I like it better if it's not, you know, fully done. Yeah, I like that. And this, I'm gonna do it, but I have to fill up with clay mine after because of the mold. Maybe if it's not too much, I think the mold can handle it. All right, that's good enough. Now I'm gonna put some fringes in here too. Right there, but there's these fringes are much smaller, and yeah, they are kind of like, it's gonna do a little bit to show. So I'm just squeezing the clay. I'm gonna put it in here. And this, it's part of this fabric, and this is where the fringes are loosened. So I'm going to attach this to, blending this clay to that side of the shirt here, and keep the button pressure going all the way there. I have to do this again after. You can also cut with a little scissor. If you want to cut the fringes with a little scissor, you can. I think it also works well. I'm not going to. I'm just going to make the marks of them here. That right now, but you guys, that's it, guys. Not hearing? I think everybody's hearing. Oh, okay. Maybe I was just quiet. That's okay, Anna. That's it, guys. You don't really need to do this outfit. My students are doing all sort of different outfits. I have a student named Robin, and she actually did 2 sitting bulls, each of them with a different outfit. So you don't really have to do what I'm doing, but I have to show you guys what I'm doing. And you can do if you want to. So I kind of want to make this one a little bit more messy. You know. but I can't go too crazy because of the resin mold. So can have ones going up maybe. Anyway, that's kind of what it is. Obviously, I'm going to do better one by one and decide where they're going. Hello. And now we also have some fringes going on here, which I don't want to add more clay, so I will just do it in here. So another way to do it. Did 3 different ways. I'm not sure how those fringes are, if they are like, I think they're coming from the back to the front just like that. That's what I think. It doesn't show, you only have like a frontal picture here, but that's what I kind of will do. So if it's wrong, it's wrong. So what I do is I make a mark here because I don't want to add extra clay. I make a mark in there, and this is the end of the fringes, and then I'm going to smooth this inside that clay there. I mean, I'm smoothing, but I will have to put the texture, right? Like this, so it looks like it's coming from the top. And then we can push it up, like push it to the front of it, to the top of it. Hello. Beijo, Brasil. And then same thing, I'm just gonna mark some fringes here. I really am not sure how those fringes are coming from. So I'm guessing there's probably a mark here. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna make it so it looks better. And then obviously this needs to have a much better finishing to be worked on one by one and spread it better. But so you guys know what I'm doing. Okay. And then after I do all of this, fix all these fringes, I will add the buttons and maybe more wrinkles to his shirt. And then the buttons go here. I don't want to add before I fix the whole, all the fringes, and I'm happy with it because this is too flat. I still want to give more of the buttons idea here. You know, this coming much like more like that. And I have to add some clay in there to cover for the mold. What we can do is we can also sculpt normal without considering the resin mold. And then after it's done, you fill up the negatives. It's also something we can do. So we don't need to worry so much about it. That's probably the best way to do it. Okay. And here probably also have some wrinkles from holding the button here. Oh, I'm gonna have to add more clay to cover in there, so you can always also add some volume if you want more. My favorite polymer clay it's PV clay, the one I use. Hello? Am I gone? It's working good to me. So just adding some volume where, you know, to match up the button there. No, but it's okay. Like they're very similar, the clays, you know, and because I like PV clay doesn't mean that everybody will prefer PV clay. It's very individual, you know. Each artist have its own way to sculpt, and each clay works better for the way that the artist sculpt. So just adding some wrinkles to the shirt so it's not absolutely the same here. See how I lost all the texture. That's fine. I'm gonna remove the button from here because I need to finish this. Ciao, Rome. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep on adding clay to where I want like the fabric to look like it's bumpy and attaching together. That's pretty much it. And then fix all the fringes one by one, which I don't think I should show in class because it's going to be just a very annoying, repetitive process for you guys to be watching. There's nothing, you know, mystery on it, and no fun to watch, no fun to make, no fun to watch. About 10 years. This also, after we go with a brush to fix those marks, it looks much better when you do this with a brush. Okay, so to finalize this, I'm gonna show what to do with the brush. Let me get the brush, the good brush that I was using. Yeah, I think it's this one. No, where is it? This one. So this brush is just with a little bit of liquid clay to it, and you don't really need liquid clay unless your sculpture is not sliding. Then you put a little bit, or you can put some oil, whatever oil, like coconut oil, vegetable oil, mineral oil. Eu vendo. And then I will do all the wrinkles, smooth them out, and make the shape that I want for them. You know, when you press with a brush like that, it kind of like makes a nice mark. I like it. I like to do wrinkles with a brush, like just pressing. This is not going to show too much because also the bangs are going to come, the braids are going to come right here. So once I have all the shapes, I like this one. Then I'll go again with my texture. And even the shapes we can, you see there's a little thing in there, you can go with your tool. So there's marks inside your wrinkles as well, texture. There we go. Like that. Shirt is wavy, so give some movement to it, and here I'm gonna have to redo the whole thing, which is fine. Once you do it once, you kind of already know what you're doing, so it makes it easier. I'm gonna need more clay to make this bum happen. Maybe not. So that's what it is, guys. Now we just need to have patience and work slowly on one by one on these fringes to make them look better. Obviously they can't be all messy like that. And they also cannot be all perfectly organized. You have to kind of mess them up a little bit. And that's it. So I'm gonna spend some time here making this look better, working on these fringes slowly. And next class I'll have this baked, and then we can either paint or we can start working on the hair. I probably want to work on the hair better. I'm gonna make the same effects for folding the shirt to this side. And then that's it. Okay, let me get farther a little bit and show you guys the full thing. So we are still going to fill up those gaps here, but I won't do that right now. And I will organize those fringes better and put the little buttons where they're supposed to go. Okay, any question before we finish this? We're still going to shade that. It's gonna look much better. It looks weird when it's just plain clay. It doesn't look good at all. But once all the details are here and everything looks good, then it's better. Also, guys, remember that it's easier if you first do all the shapes of the shirt and add the fringes after you bake. So the fringe, because what happens right now with me is the fringes are getting stuck to the shirt. If the shirt was baked, that wouldn't happen, and it would be much easier to move them around. So I did that because I'm in class. I don't want to stop to bake and then come back to make fringes, so I did all at once. But if you're making yours, make sure to give the shape of the shirt, including those, including the buttons, include all the nice shapes, and add the fringes after you bake, so they don't get stuck to the shirt. Like here, you see, it gets stuck because both clays are not baked. They're soft, and they glue to each other very easy. So when you cut the fringes, they get stuck to the clay, and it makes it harder. If it was baked, that wouldn't happen, and you could move the fringes around much easier and faster. Okay, but I'm also limited in class because I can't really stop to be baking things all the time. But at least you guys can see all the process. I missed the what day? Great class. Just need to catch up. And what day will be the next live? Next Tuesday. Why, is it a holiday or something? Next Tuesday, same thing. Am I giving class in the wrong day? Today's not Tuesday, today's Monday. I think I'm giving class in, no, today's Tuesday. I'm lost. No, today's Tuesday, right? Guys, don't. I'm completely lost in time if you guys do that. You're gonna give a knot in my brain. Okay. You scared me, Pam. Oh gosh, okay. I'm like, oh my god, did I mess it up? Okay, now you guys know me better. I'm completely lost in time. Always, always, always. Not just the day of the week or also the day of the month. I'm lost in what month we are. Sometimes I even forget what year we are. So, and I never know what time of the day we are as well. I'm dyslexic, and time for me just it's relative. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna stop here and see you all next week. This is going to be baked, and I won't do anything in here. I'll show you guys filling this up, and then we can start making his hair. Yay! All right. And don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel. You can sign up the channel as a special fan to support my work. You can go to Patreon and get all my previous classes for only $10 per month. And you can access all of them. And there's a lot of classes available. And that's it. 2020. Good. Okay. Bye, guys. See you all next week.